Welcome back to The Journey of a Navy Medic. I'm Dave Lassam, and in today's episode, we're not running to a medical emergency, we're not in a disaster zone. Today, we're sailing. This is the side of the Navy life you don't always hear about. The routines, the rituals, the camaraderie, and the challenges of living, working and sleeping in a floating steel home for months at a time. This is life on deployment, the real, unfiltered life of serving at sea. Picture this. It's 05:30 hours. The ship hums quietly under your boots. You're up, half asleep, throwing on your gear. Maybe you're on the first watch. Maybe your job today is training, maintenance, or, if you're like me, a 12-hour shift in the sick bay, treating everything from seasickness to shrapnel wounds. Every Navy ship runs on a rhythm. 4 meals a day, duty rosters posted on boards, announcements over the PA system. There's structure, but no routine is ever truly routine at sea. Sometimes your patient is a sailor with a twisted ankle. Other times it's a mental health check for someone who just got a message from home and it wasn't good news. You live where you work. There's no going home at the end of the day, and yet there's a strange comfort in that. In the Navy, we talk about mateship, and for good reason. You shower next to your shipmates, you eat with them, you do drills, share shifts, and sometimes share silence. There were moments, after a long day in the clinic, where I'd just sit on the back deck, looking at the stars with a fellow sailor. You wouldn't even talk, but in that moment you knew they had your back and you had theirs. You can't fake that kind of bond. It's forged in confined spaces, forged under pressure, and forged over time. And when the seas got rough, or news from home was hard to bear, that camaraderie is what kept us going. But here's what people don't often talk about. Deployment is tough, mentally. You're away for months, sometimes years. You miss birthdays, anniversaries, funerals. You might be in the middle of the Indian Ocean and find out your child took their first steps through a short, delayed email. There's an ache that settles in, even when things are calm. Loneliness, anxiety, depression. They don't check if you're in uniform. They show up anyway. For me, this built up over time. After years of deployments, humanitarian missions, emergencies and deaths, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I didn't see it coming at first, because out there, you're trained to push on. And sometimes pushing on too long becomes a problem. That's why I believe so strongly in supporting our veterans' mental health, not just when they return home, but while they're still serving. But let's not forget the lighter side. There's a certain charm to ship life. The ship's cooks would carry on making curry out of anything. The card nights, the music jams with a broken guitar and someone on spoons. And don't underestimate the power of mail drop. When the resupply helicopter lands and someone calls your name with a letter from home, pure gold. Even those bizarre rituals, like crossing the line ceremonies when you pass the equator, give you something to laugh about for decades. It's in these strange little moments where you realise this is a life unlike any other. Spending years at sea taught me things I would never have learned on land. How to lead under pressure, how to build trust with people you might not even like, but would give your life for, how to stay calm in chaos. But I also learned the importance of knowing when to pause, to check in with yourself, to call home when you can, to ask for help when you need it. Because life on deployment is only sustainable when you balance service with self-care. Thanks for sailing with me through the episode of The Journey of the Navy Medic. Life at sea is hard to explain, but I hope today gave you a clearer view. Behind every uniform is a human being, living, struggling, laughing, serving. In our next episode, I'll share one of the most challenging experiences of my life, offering a veteran's perspective on coping with PTSD. What happens when the sea is no longer your home and the silence on land is louder than any storm? I'm Dave Lassam. Until next time, take care of your mates, and take care of yourself.